Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk It Out with Elle, where we talk about everything and anything under the sun. Today, we have a very interesting topic that I'm sure some of you are confused about, just like me. So, I want to discuss it with some people who are like me, are confused about the matter. Anyways, I have two guests for today. The first is a good friend of mine. Her name is Marika Kudraglu. Come in, Marika.
Yes,
How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for inviting me again in your show.
Yes,
And really appreciate that all your viewers are still uh, watching and interested in the controversial topics that you usually post on your podcast. Also, I would like to um, thank those who continually watch your show. And again, thank you for inviting me here.
of course. And I haven't mentioned what the topic is. So for today, our topic is same sex marriage. We will discuss because both of us were confused as to whether it's a good thing or it's not a good thing. So we'll just discuss it as we go along. Again, I have a second guest who's not here yet, but will be coming in shortly or eventually. But for now, it's just me and Marika. We will discuss same sex marriage for today. So, what is your view? Wait, what is same sex marriage? In case some of you don't know. I'm sure you do know what it is. But same sex marriage is clearly a marriage between a man and a man, or a woman and a woman, or anyway, same sex, right? Because, under the civil code of the Philippines, or the family code of the Philippines, marriage is defined as a union between a man and a woman, right, Marika?
That's right. Being the foundation of the family, it's very important that the elements of a marriage, which is defined under the Constitution, to be one of a man and a woman. So
Mm-hmm.
those elements are vital. Otherwise, the marriage will not be valid.
Yes. Well, we're talking about, the law, not God's law. So we are not in a position to really, I mean, we're not experts on this matter. Um, we're lay people. I really wanted to invite a priest to talk about this because I just really want to know. Actually, we're not just going to talk about same-sex marriage. We'll be talking about, of course, we cannot avoid talking about homosexuality, stuff like that. So we'll be doing that as well. So maybe let's start with, before we get into same-sex marriage, why would they even want to go there? It's because they're either bisexual, homosexual. So I suppose they're members of the LGBTQ community, right, Marika?
That's right. That's right.
Other,
Plus,
okay.
the matter is becoming even more and more controversial because um, the homosexuals or bisexuals uh, or other genders that do not specifically belong to the heterosexual kind would like even the privileges that the heterosexuals have.
Mm-hmm.
Not only marriages, but even upon their death, the
Mm-hmm.
division of properties,
Yes.
the distribution of properties, and it's becoming even more and more complex as the years go by.
Mm-hmm.
My concern is um, that heterosexuals are already struggling with
Sige, himayin natin yan.
keeping,
Isa-isahin
yeah,
natin. Okay.
with keeping
The marriage
abreast,
intact?
yeah, with keeping abreast with the changes of the laws, and also with following the procedures. Like if things don't go well, they have to go through annulment, legal separation, or divorce. And my concern and wonder is, I am in awe of those who are not belonging to this heterosexual sector or the kind is why go into that when they've got it even better than the heterosexuals. They don't have to deal with all the repercussions of a marriage that has gone bad.
Yeah, but you know what? Um, that's because you've never experienced being on that side of the fence, right? Because you've
Mm.
always been heterosexual.
Mm.
So that's why I think we need to talk about sexuality before we even talk about the marriage, same-sex marriage. So
Yeah.
when it comes to sexuality, um, I'm not sure. I've lived in Canada for the past, what, 20 some years. And I think it's more open in Canada when it comes to homosexuality,
Mm.
LGBTQIA community, right? Growing up in the Philippines, well, of course, I was in an all girls school, just like you, Marika, and you know that we're surrounded by women. It's all just women, and you cannot help but have relationships with them. Well, you never did, but that's sometimes that's what happens in an all girls school. But that doesn't mean that who that all of them are bisexual. It's just I think from uh, I keep
Mm-hmm.
saying this. It's environmental.
Yes.
It's what do you call that?
It's
Uh,
biological.
no, not biological. When you're in school and then you see people doing it, it's the fad, right?
Mm.
That because you're all girls, and then your hormones are saying you want to have a relationship, or I don't know, and you don't have boys around. Of course, they end up having relationships with
So it's actually just people who want to try it out and
yes,
figure things out for themselves and
not even
explore their sexuality.
not even explore sexuality, because back in high school, the girls that have relationships with girls, they're not all of them aren't really bisexual. It's
Mm.
just like I said, it's a fad and everyone else is doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to join in, right? And they don't kiss, they don't make out, they just have a relationship like a they call
Mm.
it on back in the day,
Yeah.
but they didn't do anything sexual,
Mm. I have no
right?
problems with that
No, but
kind
that's
of
high
an
school.
experience, or even taking it even farther than that. I have no problem. It's the legality of it.
No,
Like
but
you do realize that you're uh, not a heterosexual, and you discover it, and then you come out, and then you accept it, your parents accept it, your family gets into some type of a process in order that acceptance is eventually realized. That is okay, but my concern is getting it more into the legal aspect, wherein they require marriage to be accepted,
yeah, so
to
so the
change the
question
law
is,
regarding that.
yeah, so this question here is, why do you want to have why do you want to marry each other?
Mm.
So, is same-sex marriage good, or is it not good for the society, for the community, for the country?
Mm.
So I guess
The,
that's what the question
the
is, right?
concept of being with your lifetime partner is good. What does not fit in that picture is forcing a change, which I'm not saying is change is good, but what type of change is my concern, that you're forcing the lawmakers to adapt to um, revising what is already known as the sanctity of the law, where man and woman become united, and through the form or through the process of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's where it gets a bit, you know, tricky for me.
So I don't have really an opinion about same-sex marriage. I honestly, that's why I want to discuss this, because I don't know how I feel about it. Truthfully, though, back then, my view was this: same as Marika. I used to say, why impose what you want on the government, right? What makes, what makes you more special than everyone else? That's what I was thinking
Mm-mm.
before. Like, it's been defined. a union between a man and a woman. Why rock the boat? Why? That's what I was thinking before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, because I'm thinking like you. I'm thinking, well, this is a Catholic country, and we all know that we grew up Catholics, and I'm sure for all of most of you who grew up in Catholic schools know what Marika's saying, that it's not morally right, and that's what we were taught, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now you want to impose your what you want on the government and change the law and include same-sex marriage in the law and make it legal when it's well, the law is not saying it's illegal, but then the definition itself says man and a woman, right? So, and same with you, I was wondering why, like why do we have to impose it, why do you have to impose it on the government, and if they don't do it, you're thinking, you're saying it's
Mm-hmm.
discriminatory of you, right? But that's not the norm. The norm is a man and a woman getting married, and everyone knows that. You know,
So
it's
have your views changed?
not really changed. It's just that I'm trying to understand why they want it.
Mm.
Because why are they so passionate about wanting to get married, like you said?
Because I think
No, because you
my
said,
observation
no, wait,
is
you said,
they want the rights that the others have to be equally a right that is provided for them.
yeah, but no. But wait, there's more. No, but you said earlier, why do you want to get married when married people get divorced,
Yes,
married people
exactly.
get separated, etc.? And I know you're saying about the rights and everything. I think it goes deeper than that,
Yeah, I
right?
don't think they really care much. The the crux of the situation is not about what happens after or the repercussions. It's just that, hey, you have that right and I want to have it too.
Yeah, but
Because the law is created equal for every person, regardless of race, sex, creed, or belief.
yes, but I think it goes deeper than that. It's more, well, I'm trying to, I'm not saying this is how it is, but I'm thinking, you know, why? Okay, let me ask you, why did you get married in the first place? Did you think about your rights as a couple? Did you think about
No,
what you're gonna
no,
get?
it's about loving the other person.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And think that's why
that's why. That's
they
what.
want to get married,
Yes,
not because of the rights that they will get. Because you
just
said,
because it's a an expression of your love
exactly.
to tie the knot.
Exactly. It's not. I'm beginning to understand now, because before I was close minded. I'm like, why?
Mm.
Why do you have to impose it on? And now I'm thinking, I'm realizing, it's not that they want to impose it on you,
Yeah.
but because they want to be for themselves legitimate that we are a couple.
Mhm.
Not because I want the society to accept us as a couple. Not
Yeah.
really initially. Like,
It's just for
right?
them,
It's for them.
like
It's
other heterosexual couples
yes.
that live
Makes it
today,
official.
live today without the sanctity of marriage, but they're
Yes.
still together. There's
Yeah.
no marriage, they're not married, but they're still together. And I know many people like that.
Yeah, but it's a personal decision to
Yes,
not
it's
get
a
married.
choice.
Yeah, but then these people, because they're different in a way, because they're not heterosexual, they're already segregated. They already have that LGBTQIA community. There's also already a community that is all, it's different, right? It's in itself is different. So I'm thinking the reason why they want to get married is they just want to feel that union between them,
Yes.
right?
Agree.
That it's
I
official,
agree.
that we are together, that we're a couple,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to yeah, you're together. So, and yeah, to some it's just a piece of paper, right? But to some it's more than a piece of paper. It's saying that you and I are together, are one,
Correct.
finally, right? So
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's the reason why they want to get married, and it's hard to say no to that, because I mean, they're in love, but then again, it's not that easy to say yes,
It's a personal
right?
choice.
Mm-hmm. Plus, in Canada you can get married, right? In the Philippines you can.
Mm.
So I guess the best solution for those who want to get married is go to Canada or to San Francisco or wherever you can get married, because
Which many do, they go somewhere
exactly,
else.
yeah, and that's why And that is why, um, you don't really have to impose it on the Philippine government. For me, this is just my take on this. We're very Catholic, right? And we grew up, we were taught that, it's not the right thing to do. So, I mean, I guess I'm still, in a way, conservative that way.
Mm.
But I'm not saying that you shouldn't if you want to, but that just not in the Philippines, right? I don't think that the Filipino people are ready for that,
Yes.
especially the generation before us who are still here, even our generation, right,
Oh yeah,
Marika?
it's still taboo.
Yeah. So it's not, maybe down the road things will change. I don't know, but as I live, breathe and live, I don't think it's gonna happen because I don't think the Filipino people are ready for this. Plus, let's not even. We're talking about marriage already. We already jumped to that. Let's talk. Let's go back and talk about homosexuality, being bisexual. That alone is not still quite. It's not. I'm not saying you're not accepted, but let's face it. They still think it's immoral to be, for two same sex to be in a relationship, right?
Yes.
Let,
Yep.
let alone get married, right? So the act of having sex with the same sex alone is taboo, is morally wrong. That's what we were taught, right? In fact, I before we started this podcast, I looked up, I just Googled, what does the Bible say? We're getting into the Bible.
Okay.
What does the Bible say about same sex marriage? And this is what came up. Written by Rob Wood on May 2017. Updated November 2020. The Bible defines marriage in Genesis 2:24 as a union between one man and one woman,
Yes.
right? Jesus upholds this definition of marriage in Matthew. But let's go to Genesis. What does it really say? The Bible, he says here, the Bible defines marriage in Genesis 2:24 as a union between one man and one woman. Is that really what Genesis said? Exactly. Let's see. This is what Genesis 2:24 says exactly, verbatim. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Okay? So, it's not really what that guy said. So, what is your interpretation of this? A man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Of course, yes, it's a man and a woman. There's no other interpretation of that. It is a man and a woman. Matthew 19:5 says, for this reason, and this is the interpretation of Holman Christian Standard Bible. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. Okay? So that's the definition of marriage in the Bible. That the two shall become one flesh. Ephesians say the same. Exactly the same. They shall become one flesh. Mark 7:21 says, for from within, out of the heart of man, come evil. Hindi, iba na to. Okay, that's a different story. Let's go back to that later. So it says a man and a woman, right? That's true. No argument on that one. Which is why the Family Code of the Philippines says marriage is a union between a man and a woman. I guess they got it from the Bible, right? So, and then let's go to the sexual issue. It says here, any and all sexual activity which takes place outside of this context is treated as sinful.
Mm.
What Jesus calls sexual immorality in Mark 7:21. And that's what I read earlier. Mark 7:21 says, for from within, out of the heart of man, come evil thoughts, sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery. So I guess same-sex relationships, sexual relationships, will fall. They're saying it falls under sexual immorality, right? In Leviticus 18:22, it says, "You shall not lie with male as with the woman. It is an abomination."
Mm.
So you cannot
Right?
do
The
both.
Bible is very specific on
Yeah,
this.
yeah. So
I don't know if there are other ways to interpret it. It's just plain.
yeah, you shall not. Well, I guess I can.
Let's see.
You shall not lie with a male as with a woman, meaning choose one.
No.
You shall not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination. So for me, that's adultery. So do not lie with male as with woman. So my interpretation of that is do not lie with both. Anyway,
Both
that's just
what
me.
you're talking?
Both man and woman. Choose one. That's my
So,
point.
okay, you're targeting now bisexuality.
Well, that's what they're saying. Hindi, that's my interpretation of Leviticus, right?
Oh, I'm disappearing.
It's actually a holograph beside it.
Okay.
Okay, and then again, so do not have sexual. That is detestable. Leviticus, it's the Old Testament. It's the New Testament. I'm not really a Bible person, but Leviticus is in the New Testament, right?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, Thou shalt not lie with mankind, as with womankind. It's an abomination. Do not practice homosexuality, having sex with another man as with a woman. It is detestable. Right? You shall not lie with. So it just goes on and on about,
Yes.
Okay,
have you found anything contradictory to that?
no, I didn't really research.
I don't think you will be able to. The Bible is very
Oh, and
firm
this,
on this.
if a man lies with a male as with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination, they shall surely be put to death. Their blood is upon them.
Yeah, remember Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now.
That is a
Now, Romans.
prime example in the Old Testament.
Yeah, but my take on that is Sodom and Gomorrah is based on lust, right?
It's
Lustful people. But when you're in
Yes.
love, I don't think that counts as lust.
So you
if you
are-
are disappearing on me, Marika.
I am.
I think she's sleepy. So, ganyan po. Marika's like this. When she falls asleep, she just disappears. Anyway. Oh my God, Marika, where are you? Okay. So, I'm trying to look for, salvation. Romans 1:24 to 32. Therefore, God gave them up in the lusts of their heart. See? In the lusts of their hearts to impurity, to the dishonoring of their bodies among themselves, because they exchanged the truth about God for a lie, and worshipped and served the creature rather than the Creator, who is blessed forever. For this reason, God gave them to dishonorable passions.
Mm.
For their women exchanged natural relations for those that are contrary to nature.
Yes.
And the men likewise gave up natural relations with women and were consumed with passion for one another.
Okay.
Men committing shameless acts with men and receiving in themselves the due penalty for their error. And since they did not see fit to acknowledge God, it's important. They did not see fit to acknowledge God. God gave them up to the debased mind to do what ought not to be done. They were filled with all manner of unrighteousness, evil, covetousness, malice. They are full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, maliciousness. They are gossips, slanderers, haters of God, insolent, haughty, boastful, inventors of evil, disobedient to parents, foolish, faithless, heartless, ruthless. Though they know God's righteous decree that those who practice such things deserve to die, they not only do them, but give approval to those who, I cannot see, practice
Well,
them.
it is
So,
very firm, but I'll give you something that would contradict all of that. It's Pope Francis's speech regarding love when he did a revision and a change in the Vatican Church
mhm,
regarding the acceptance of heterosexuals, homosexuals, and other kinds of um, beliefs in practices of love. It is he focused not only on the sexuality of the person, but more on the emotional expression of that person, the attachment of one woman to another or a man to another.
Yeah,
He
and
showed a new kind of Vatican Church, uh,
interpretation.
yes, era for those who are struggling with their sexuality. That love is one powerful element which will not deter the person from being accepted by the Lord.
Exactly. And not only that, remember, this is what, even if it's not the Old Testament, it's the New Testament. This was done, what, how many years ago, right?
Yeah.
And back then, things were different.
Mm.
In fact, I heard this priest, and remember, I think it was in Prague.
Yes.
Was it that priest who said, I'm not sure, but one priest said, back in the day, this was, it's a sin to do this. Now, is it a sin to eat what, goat meat or something like that, right? Anyways, and I said, but now it's not, because things evolve and men evolve, laws evolve, right? And that's the point. Back then, this was the law, but
Yeah.
still, if you look at it, everything that was described here are devoid of
Well, because
love.
the
There's no
the
love in here.
Bible is not a static document or,
Yeah.
or historical book. It is dynamic. It moves with the times.
It should,
Yeah.
but they don't. I mean, they don't interpret it that way because it doesn't change. The Bible is not amended like laws, right? So, but then my point is this: from what I read, you never saw anything, you never heard anything about loving someone. These are all lust, hatred, heartless, ruthless, foolish. It
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah,
say anything about love, and that's the point.
That's why I've learned to reappear and disappear. Okay,
I know.
I've learned to interpret also in a way that would be more considerate to the expression of love.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, because the point is this, like, and I was talking to you about earlier about this, right? Hold on. I'm just wondering. Wait, sorry. It says homosexual in the Bible back then. Homosexual is a sin,
yes,
right? What about a newborn child growing up? I mean, someone who was born homosexual at 4 years old, at
Because
5. Let's even put at
that is
6.
the chemical imbalance. I believe about that. The
No, but
chemical, um, uh, you know, making of a person where he lacks estrogen or testosterone,
Yeah.
making him act different
Yeah.
or her act different
but
because
they
of
feel
that
different.
imbalance.
Yeah, but point is that immoral?
No, no, no.
Exactly my point. So why would you say homosexuality is a sin when he was born homosexual? Why? How is it his choice? How is it his fault? That's my point. And if he grows up loving another man, how is it his fault? How are you going to blame him for how he acts when he was born that way?
Yes.
So that I'm having, I have a problem with that. Really, it's a struggle because I don't understand why people will say, and reading the New Testament about abomination,
Mm.
detestable. It's just, you know, it's not in keeping. It's not in keeping. Not even with the times. It's not in keeping with God's teachings to love one another. Isn't love the greatest
Yes.
of all?
Yeah.
Right? So, and I spoke with the priest. I asked because I'm really confused about that issue. Because growing up, I'm Catholic, so I understand that these are the teachings, and I know that, and I'm not one who would rock the boat, right? So I asked the priest. I said, "What? Okay, how is, what do you think of same sex relationship? Not even marriage relationships." He said it's not per se bad as long as you don't have sex. But I said, but that's the natural thing that comes after being together, right? And I think that's the other thing, Marika. You know how we were raised to not um, have sex
Mm.
until you're married, right?
Mm.
So the same sex, the people who want to have same sex marriage, maybe are thinking the same thing. Like I just wanna, they want to be like that. They want to preserve it until they are united, right?
Yes.
Marika, hello, hello, Marika. Knock, knock. Are you still there? You know?
I totally agree because we are dealing more with complex issues as the years go by,
Mm-hmm.
and
I'm disappearing.
the sexuality is not only regarding homosexuality. It's other
I think someone's calling you.
other genders are also questioning themselves, and there are new names.
Yeah,
There are
LGB.
new names to their sexuality. So anyway, what I'm saying is, for me, the two most powerful commandments of the Lord is to love yourself and love God above all others, and love yourself as you love others. So you love your others as you love yourself. And I think if you just go by that, you are on the right track. I mean,
Exactly. I mean, do you? And this is what really baffles me. A woman and a woman, let's put it, a woman and a woman loving each other and wanting to be together and actually already together for a long time, right? Of course, there's something happening behind closed doors,
what did the
right?
priest say about this?
Well,
It's forbidden.
yeah, as long as it's not a sin, as long as you don't have sex. And I said, oh, sir, they're just gonna stare at each other every single day. I mean, it comes with the relationship, right? So that's what I mean, so how are you gonna? I don't. And this is my take on this.
This is, as I said, it's very sensitive issue, and every person, um, whether heterosexual or not, um, have a struggle in finding a decision. There is no right answer, I think.
Yeah, and well, I'm thinking.
Every country even is having difficulties coming to grips with whether or not to pass the same-sex marriage law, or even, let alone even in other countries that have strict beliefs like in the
India?
Arab nation,
Yeah.
wherein you are literally being stoned as if you were living in the Old Testament ages,
Yeah.
stoned for being a homosexual,
Yeah.
and they have to flee their country and seek some type of an asylum because of how they are living.
Yeah.
They're struggling to come out. As
You're
I am.
struggling to come out. I am too.
Okay.
No, but now, yeah, you're right. And that's why I don't know. I guess this is my solution. For those of you who want to get married, just go out of the country and find a place where you can get married
Mm.
legally, right? Remember, there's Canada, I believe Brazil, the United States. Some people don't have visas. It's hard to get a visa to the U.S. or Canada, right? So I think there's what, Guam, Taiwan. I think Taiwan only marry their citizens, or just have a ceremony, a pretend ceremony, a fake one. I don't know. No, but when it comes to what you were talking about, Marika, some people, they just, I've also spoken to some people who have been together for so long, and when they initially got together, it was about love, right? But then as years went by and they're together for like what, 20 years, they've accumulated property together, you know, and then they said, but what am I gonna do? I want my partner to get everything, right? Because we built this together, she's my
Yeah.
partner, she's my lifetime partner.
And then
And
sometimes it doesn't happen because the law is
exactly, because
not
it's not acknowledged that you're,
providing for that.
yes.
But there are other ways, actually. There are loopholes that can ensure that your partner will be taken care of in when the other one is gone.
No, but not only that though.
Survivorship agreements.
Yeah, but not only that, when it comes to jobs, when it comes to insurance, when it comes to beneficiaries who it's
Yeah,
only the next of kin and you're not considered
that's
the next of
true.
kin,
That's true.
right? So my solution is this: why not just instead of agreeing to the same-sex marriage, why not just agree to same-sex partnership? Call
Mm-hmm.
it that way. And if you're a same-sex partner, as long as you've been together for this long, then you can disappear. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Then you can uh, become a next of kin. I think that's a good compromise. Instead of getting married, at least you are given the same privileges as a couple, as a married couple, right? That when it comes to taxes, you can declare your partner as your partner, not a spouse, but a partner. So in other words, you're only going to amend these laws, income tax law, those kind of things that will allow them to declare their partner as their beneficiary, as their partner when it comes to declaring their income tax and stuff like that, right? I mean, I think that's doable, right? If only they want to do it. But I think that's the best compromise that uh, the government can do for
There are ways
LGBTQ.
actually, but for as long as you have an agreement with your partner that is notarized.
But
And
not with income tax. You
well,
can.
with respect to taxes, it will take a long time for revisions to come with respect to beneficiaries,
Exactly.
insurance claims.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes there are insurance companies that will engage and accommodate the requests of the policyholder,
Hmm.
right? The policyholder can be your partner, and you are
Yeah, but when it comes to
the
succession, let's go to
beneficiary.
succession. We have here legitims, right?
Yes.
And you only can only give the free portion, right, to someone who's not your
Yeah,
spouse or
it becomes the donee.
exactly. So, stuff like that. So, your relatives will go before your partner,
Mhm.
always, right?
Yes.
So, so those kinds of things. That's what I'm saying. Maybe they can just amend the law, but it's hard. It's
It will
hard.
take a long time, because for the simple things that are not complicated, it
Takes a
does
long
take a
time.
long time.
I
What
know. Oh,
more?
hey, our guest is here. Our other
Okay.
guest. Let us bring in Lance Xavier Louis de Luna. Ganda ng name.
Okay. I am going to
Disappear?
exit for a while,
Okay.
and when you're done, I will reappear.
Okay.
Thank you once again.
Thank you, Marika. Okay, now here's our next guest. Lance de Luna is driving. Oh my God.
Hello.
Are you home? Say you are. You're home.
Like
Okay.
1 minute from
Okay.
my place.
Okay, so we actually discussed a lot of things about same-sex marriage. We gave our opinion of our own opinion of you know our views on the matter. Well, Marika is heterosexual, so she has her own views of same-sex relationships, not to mention same-sex marriage, right? Because like I said, before you even discuss the marriage, let's discuss the relationship at first, right?
Yeah.
So now, what is what is your take on same-sex marriage? Do you think it's a good thing or not?
Wait, sorry, Tita. Ano yun? It cut off. Wait, what
I
was the
said,
question?
uh, do you think same-sex marriage is a good thing or not? I'm talking
Uh,
about here in the Philippines because we don't have it, right? We don't have same-sex marriage in the Philippines, and I know a lot of the LGBTQI members want it. Do you think we should have it in Philippines?
I think everyone should have the right to be not just married to someone they love, like just the fact of being with someone they love, they should be allowed to make it make it official, because at the end of the day, like we're all humans. We have feelings, we have emotions, and you shouldn't deprive people of that right to to be with someone officially. Yeah, to be with someone officially just because their sexual preference or their gender orientation is not what you're used to, you know?
Yes, but you're a millennial, aren't you?
Yeah.
So
I'm 25
yeah, so Marika and I, we grew up, um, of course, in a different world, right?
actually. Yeah, totally different from
It is. And I guess we're in between two worlds, right? And
Mhm.
we're caught in between, and we see both sides. Um, my take is, y- okay, before that, were you were in a Catholic school, right?
Yeah.
You studied in Catholic school, and you know the teachings of the Catholic schools, right? And you are frozen. Elsa, come in. Sorry, Lance is frozen. But before anything else, I'll take this opportunity to say hello to some of my friends while my guest is
Hello.
frozen. Oh, there.
Oh, okay.
Frozen
There we
guest.
go.
Yeah, because growing up, I'm sure you were taught that it's not right to have a relationship, sexual relationship with the same sex.
Yeah.
You were taught that, right?
Yeah, just showing interest, even just showing interest like, oh, I think that, like, for example, me, like if back then I expressed that, oh, I think that guy is cute, or I think he's handsome, like that would already raise eyebrows, you know? Just something as simple as that, like something as simple as admiration, they would put malice in it and take it the wrong way.
Mhm.
It's so it's weird, come to think of it, you know?
Yeah, but because of the teachings, right? And you didn't hear it, but I read a bunch of uh, words or yeah, from the Bible about
Hmm. Yeah, passages.
homosexuality, about same sex, and it all says it's an abomination, it's detestable, it's bestiality, it's wrong, it's immorally, it's sexually immoral, and you will be put to death and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
And
like stoned to death,
um,
stuff like that.
yes, yes. But then I kept reminding, let's remind the audiences that the Bible is the Bible. Of course, it's the words of God and stuff like that. But how do you reconcile those words of hatred to God's teachings of loving? Just loving people. And that's where the confusion comes in for me.
Exactly.
I
Same
am
thought.
with right if I'm with a woman who I love, they're saying the Bible is saying I'm already condemned. I'm a sinner and I should be put to death. And I should not you know and and if you were born the way you are, right?
Yeah.
And then you're attracted to this person and you fall in love with that person. If you have sex with that person, it's not lust. It's, I guess, the normal thing that two people in love do, right?
It's, I would say, like, regarding the topic of like the teachings not aligning with the religion itself, like what it's trying to achieve. Like people say, like like Islam and Christianity and Catholicism are like religions of love and peace, right? But the scriptures say otherwise. I think it's more on the fact that, like, at the end of the day, like I'm not trying to crap
Oh,
on any religion. It's just that, you know, uh at the end of the day, the Bible was passed on for generations, has been through the hands of many writers, many people, has been revised. Like, okay, Tita, like how many versions of the Bible are there?
I know. There's a lot. There's a lot.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not an atheist. I used to be an atheist, but I'm just not religious. Like, I can't disprove of any like higher entity. At the same time, it just doesn't click for me because of what you said exactly. So, but I am open to learning about religion and all that stuff. I have in one of the companies that I worked with, they were very religious people, but
Mhm.
at the same time they were very welcoming.
Mhm.
One of the reasons why I lost faith, honestly, was because growing up, there's a certain uh, person in my life who is very religious, but also very, unfaithful to their partner. But the rosary every day. I think you know this person. So like, it's like make it make sense. Like it does like you cheat on your partner multiple times, but at the end of the day you pray. Why? It's because when you pray, like all your sins get washed away. That's like a free pass. Like, bro, that's so fucking stupid. It does not make sense. That's why I'm not religious.
No, but
Because
well, and this is the thing too, right? You're talking about cheating,
yeah,
lying, and it's in the Bible too. Those are sins.
exactly.
Those are sins, and that's
So
what
we're
I'm
all
saying.
condemned then.
Yeah. But this is what you missed that I read, right? Thou shalt not lie with a male as with woman. It is an abomination, right? It is the abominable snowman.
I
Okay,
mean,
it
I
here.
think
What does
yeah.
Jesus? Oh, before that, so it says here. Hold on, because it's very interesting. The law is for people who are sexually immoral, who practice homosexuality. Look, who who who, who practice homosexuality,
Mm-hmm.
are slave traders, liars, promise breakers. You're talking about the same person. No. Or who do anything else that contradicts the wholesome teaching, right? So
Wholesome thing.
wholesome. So let's just concentrate on those two lines, right? It it's saying that those things that I enumerated, so sexual immorality, practice homosexuality, contradicts the wholesome teaching. I don't get that. Wholesome. How can it not be wholesome if
Yeah.
two people love each other, truly love each other? How is that not wholesome, right? And
Exactly.
homosexuality is being equated with kidnappers, with promise breakers, liars. Look,
This
for
is insane. See, I
this is
don't read the Bible, and just like hearing this from you makes me laugh.
yeah, but Timothy 1:10 says, but this is the New King James Version. For fornicators, for sodomites, for kidnappers, for liars, for perjurers, and if there is any other thing that is contrary to sound doctrine. So, imagine being equated with kidnappers, the liars. I know a lot of them. Oh my gosh, you want me to enumerate? No, but she's Elsa. He's Elsa again. So, and you can see. Unfortunately, we had some technical problems and I just lost both my guests. Anyways, at least they were able to share with us their opinion on the issue of same-sex relationships and same-sex marriage. So thank you so much, Marika Kudroglu and Lance De Luna. We left off at I think we were discussing the passage in the Bible. I am not here to pretend that I'm well versed with the Bible, that I read the Bible all the time, which is why this is surprising for me because I don't think I've ever come across these passages in the Bible. But I think we left off at Timothy 1:10, where it says, the sexually immoral men who practice homosexuality, enslavers, liars, perjurers, and else is contrary to sound whatever else is contrary to sound doctrine. I think I read that passage. Um, and there are different translations of the Bible. There's here the New Living Translation, New King James Version, New Century Version, American Standard Version, and all of them say that the law is okay. The first one, the New Living Translation, the law is for people who are sexually immoral or who practice homosexuality. or are slave traders, liars, promise breakers, or who do anything else that contradicts the wholesome teaching. And I did discuss about the wholesomeness of the act between same-sex couples. Well, that's my opinion, right? When it's true love, how can it not be wholesome? I think for me, what God condemns are lustful intentions, lustful activities, just like Sodom and Gomorrah. I believe that what happened there has nothing to do with love at all, right? That's my take on that. Um, the New Century Version, who take part in sexual sins, who have sexual relations with people of the same sex, who sell slaves, who tell lies, who speak falsely, and who do anything against the true teaching of God. So, what is the true teaching of God? I guess that's what they're saying. If you go against the true teaching of God, then it's wrong, of course. Um, and in this version, they're saying that taking part in sexual sins. What is a sexual sin? Again, I think that has to do with lust. Who have sexual relations with people of the same sex. If I'm being, um, no, I'm not going to say anything anymore. Who have sexual relations with people of the same sex, who sell slaves, who tell lies, who speak falsely, and who do anything against the true teaching of God. So, uh, I'm just repeating myself. I'm sorry, but what I'm trying to say is that the true teaching of God, they're saying those things that I just enumerated go against the true teachings of God, right? I guess it then boils down to what are the true teachings of God, and I'll go back to that later. Um, so what does God teach, really, in a nutshell? Um, I don't know. For me, isn't it? There's a passage in the Bible that says that love is the greatest of all. The, so okay, how does God define love? In 1 Corinthians 13:4 to 8, it says, love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice the wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. So it's just saying what, I guess it's just defining how one should love another, right? If you truly love someone, then you'll be patient and kind. You won't be envious. You won't be boastful. You're not arrogant. You're not rude. You won't insist on your own way, etc., etc., right? And what does Jesus say about love? What does the Bible say about true love? And I got this again. John 15:12 says, "This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you." So it says here, throughout his earthly ministry, Jesus showed his love for others by blessing and serving the poor, the sick, and the distressed. He told his disciples, "This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you." So let's not go back to what I mentioned earlier. What are the true teachings of God? This is it. In a nutshell, that you have to love your brothers, sisters, as you love me. So, again, it's all about love, right? So how can we now say that two people who are in love with each other are committing a sin? It just, maybe they are, but I'm really not sure. Honestly, I don't think anyone can truly say that God will condemn same-sex couples. Because how can we? When God is a forgiving God, when God is a loving God. That's why, honestly, that's why I wanted to talk about this in this podcast, because I have been thinking about it for the longest time. I have been exposed to same-sex relationships in my teenage years, because I grew up in an all girls school, all girls Catholic school, and that is kind of a fad back then. It's not the norm in, in the society, but it was a norm, the norm in where in the school where I studied, elementary and high school. So, but and then they'll be teaching us that it's wrong to have same-sex relationships. So I honestly at this time at my age, I'm still confused because, like I said earlier, and I always say this: how can one be said to be committing a sin when they were born homosexual, gay, bisexual, and whatever it is they're feeling is something that they did not choose to feel. That's how they are, right? And if you're homosexual, you're bisexual, and you fall for the same sex, how is that? How is that a sin when it's in your nature to feel that way? And you were made this way. You were created by God this way. God Himself created you this way. So how are you committing a sin when you are just going through the motions, when you're just feeling what you're naturally feeling because this is who you were created to be? So I don't know. Seriously. Um, that's why I wanted to ask a priest about this, but I couldn't get anyone to agree to be my guests. Anyway, so yeah, that's, I don't know if anyone has if you have any opinions on the matter and you want to share it with us, send me an email at lrodriguez 2021. That's ELLERODRIGUEZ or UEZ 2021 at gmail.com. And I'd love to hear your opinion because I really want to know. Having said that, for me, if you are not lusting after another person, if you love that person that you're with, if you love the person that you're having sexual relations with, if you're being, um, sorry, if you're being truthful to yourself, if you're being faithful to that partner that you have, then I don't think you are committing a sin. It's just me because how can you be, right? Like I said earlier, you're just being you. You're being who you were made, created to be. Um, and I've friends who are in same-sex relationships, same-sex marriages, and they've been together for what, 20 years, you know, and it's amazing, right? And I've been in two, you know, relationships with men. I've had two marriages that didn't work out. Um, that's that. So, I don't know. Maybe, what if I fall in love with another woman and everything turns out well? Am I committing a sin if I truly fall for that person only because we're, you know, both girls? I don't know. Only this is what I think. Only God can condemn a person. Only God can judge us. And like I said, I believe that our God is a forgiving God, is a loving God. And from what I know and from what I've learned throughout the years being a Catholic, as long as you have faith in Him, you will never go wrong. As long as you believe in Him, then you will never go wrong. So if you believe in God and you believe that what you have for another person who is of the same sex is a natural thing for you, it's something that's you feel from within, and whatever you feel for that person is love and not lust. And if you ever have sexual relations with that person because you are in love with that person, I don't know how God will say that you should be put to death or that you are committing a grave sin. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe. Um, but books are meant to be interpreted by people, right? And I guess if I have a different interpretation of the Bible, then that's my take on the Bible. If you have a different interpretation of the passages on the Bible, then that's your take on it, your opinion, your interpretation of it. Priests have their own interpretations, like you've seen, you've heard me read different translations of the Bible. There are different interpretations by different religions, by different people, and I guess we just have to, respect that. Um, I am a Catholic since I was in kindergarten until law school. In fact, I'm even a lector in my church since like 2003. Three? Yeah, I've been a lector for a long time, and that's why I do not take these things lightly. That's why I wanted to discuss it because it's very important for me, and I know it's very important for a lot of people who are confused like me. Um, to it, I guess I did not really shed light on the issue. On the contrary, I probably confused you more. Anyway, I'm so sorry if I did that, but I'm gonna wrap this up. So, like I said, for me, if you truly love the person you're with, whatever sex they are, then I don't think you can ever go wrong because love, Jesus' commandment is to love one another, right? And if you love someone, then you love someone. Period. Anyway, so thank you so much for listening. Again, I'm so sorry that we lost our guests, Marika Codroglo and Lance De Luna, because we had some technical difficulties. But thank you so much again to both of you. So now, greeting time. I just wanted to greet my friends. There are some people who just celebrated their birthdays. In fact, I attended one of those birthday celebrations. Jag Pineda, happy birthday again, my good friend from Green Heights, my childhood friend. Thank you so much for inviting me. I I also would like to thank, greet. I'm confused. I would like to greet CL from Natipuan. He is our coach, the volleyball team coach of Natipuan. Happy birthday. And of course, Jana Pineda, Jag's daughter, 18th birthday. Happy birthday, Jana. You look amazing, by the way, on your birthday. You're all grown up. Anyways. Oh, Rowena Carpizo, my BFF, happy birthday. Mark Start's birthday was also on September 16, I believe. So, happy birthday. And Lea Mazera, my BFF, September 6, happy birthday. Diana! Diana, my daughter's best friend, one of her best friends. Happy birthday, Diana. And I would like to say hello. Oh, no, Miss Carrie. Miss Carrie was my teacher back in college. Happy birthday. My classmate back in law school, Anne Credo Cabochan, attorney Anne Credo Cabochan, happy birthday. Rowena Pamintuan, happy birthday. Sharon Marindo, happy birthday. Chris Aldover. Bianca Ching, my classmate from Star Magic, happy birthday. Jimmy Go, another kababata, another childhood friend, happy birthday. Albo Badilla, happy birthday to you, my dear. Axel, Emmy Montilla, Charmaine of Iquiville, Teresa Lawrence, Megan Stark. Happy birthday to you. And the other September babies are Michelle Varacion. Happy birthday. Andy Manyalak, Anne Avellanosa, Richard Watanabe, and Michael Gubat. Happy birthday to all of you. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to say, I would just want to send my deepest condolences to my friend Jimmy Go, who also celebrated his birthday. Or, yeah, I'm so sorry to hear about the passing of your child. So sorry. I will include him in my prayers. Again, my deepest condolences to you and your wife and your family. Okay, and of course, I'd like to greet my friends from Batangas. My partner, Lady. Hi, hello. I'm coming home soon. Um, of course, Kuya Don. Happy birthday tuloy. Hello. Tere. Hello, Tere. Joseph, Tere's husband, and Lady's cousin. Maya, their daughter. Hello. Teen Pineda, thank you so much again for inviting us and including us in the celebration of your husband and daughter's birthdays. And of course, Tony, my idol, she's all grown up now. Hello, I want to play volleyball with you soon. So come to Nasubu and we'll play with my teammates. Ariel, of course, Ariel and Jenny Manyalak. Hello. Julius and Kelly Pamintuan. Egay and Karen Alcantara, and the entire Natipuan volleyball team. I'm gonna try to enumerate them. Let me see, without looking at any list. Janella, Janine, Julianne, um, Teen, my setter, Alexandra, China, Glidel, Jeanne, Alexis, Leah, Joy, tatlo pa. Who did I miss? Uh, Lucia, 11, dalawa na lang. Did I miss any? Oh, I'm the other one. Wait, there were 14. Two more. Oh, Trisha! One more. And did I miss anyone else? Anyway, so hello guys. I'm gonna see you soon. On September 25 is the opening of the league in Balaitige. That's in Batangas, and we joined that league, the volleyball league. And of course, my team is the Natipuan team. They're really good players, and watch out, guys. And of course, I would like to say thank you so much to our sponsors for our uniform, Kelly and Julius Pamintuan, Marika Kodroglu, and of course, the owner of Auto House United Victory, Hedy Trinidad, who is based in California. Thank you so much. We will be seeing him soon. He's coming home. So, thank you. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned something. I hope I didn't confuse you more. That's not the intention. I'm trying to decipher this issue. I just wanted to, you know, but we can never know, right? When it comes to religion, when it comes to God, we can't really say for sure that our interpretation is correct. We'll just have to wait and see. We're just gonna have to feel it in our hearts. We're just gonna have to have a personal relationship with God, talk to Him, and thresh out everything that you have inside of you, just like what I do before I go to bed. So, thank you so much again. This is your host, El Rodriguez, here and hopefully I'll see you again in the next episode, okay? Again, this is El Rodriguez, your host here in Let's Talk It Out with El.